It is indeed my pleasure to talk to you on standardization and quality testing of homeopathic medicines. First of all, I'm thankful to Dr. Shahji and others who have given me this opportunity. So, as far as the standards and quality is concerned, for the homeopathy, it is very important that we should know how the standards are maintained and how the quality is maintained. Because if the raw material is not good, we cannot have a good mother tincture. If we do not have a good mother tincture, then we cannot have the good dilutions. And I just want to tell you that as far as the government of India is concerned, government of India is very much concerned about homeopathic medicines. Why so? Because it is the only country where we have got the pharmacopoeia laboratory that is called the HPL, Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Laboratory. Then we have a CCH, which controls the education, and we have a CCRH, Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, which controls the research. So all the three things are being controlled by government of India. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. What is homeopathic medicine? We have in India, Drugs and Cosmetics Act. In that, they have clearly mentioned what is homeopathic medicine. And there is a Rule 2DD of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act where they have given the definition of homeopathic medicine, and which says that homeopathic medicines include any drug which is recorded in homeopathic proving therapeutic efficacy which has been established through a long clinical experience and recorded in authoritative homeopathic literature. That is what we have: Boric Materia Medica, Allen Materia Medica, all these Materia Medica, they are considered as the authoritative literature. And very soon, the government of India is, they are going to publish the list of the authoritative books in the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. So it is very important, that we should understand that what is homeopathic medicine. Here, the government of India has allowed the combinations. See, combination of ingredients such as homeopathic medicine, but does not include a medicine which is administered to a parental route. It means injectables are not allowed, but combinations are allowed. That is why we have, a lot of combinations in the market. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. Next slide. No. Forward. Yeah. In the second schedule of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, they have mentioned what are the standards you can follow. The standards which are mentioned in the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India, if you see the point B, the point A is drugs mentioned in Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India, HPI, that is the publication of Government of India. And if the drugs are not mentioned in that, then we have got the HPUS, that is USA, UK, or German Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia. What are the standards, identity, purity, strength specified in the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia that one has to follow? It is not that, we can have anything standard of our own choice. We have to follow the standards which are already mentioned in the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India. It is like, the BIS, we have got the Bureau of Indian Standards. So the same way, the standards for homeopathic medicines are mentioned in the HPI or HPUS, UK, or others. See, I just want to tell you that, if you, when I was, 60, just a minute, when I was, young, in 60s, 70s, there were no standards, no pharmacopoeias. And, the medicines were prepared in one room only. But after that, what has happened in 2006, the government of India came out with the GMP, that is good manufacturing practices, and they came out with certain standards. And all these standards are published in the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India. And now the 10 volumes of the HPI have been published, which covers more than 1,000 drugs. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, this is, how the testing of drug is being done. As far as the botanical drugs are concerned, we can do the macroscopy, microscopy, then HPTLC, TLC, then microbial contamination, and all these things. So this is just, how if we get a raw material, then we have to find out how the testing of the raw material is being done. Now, it is important for us to know that as far as, the Rauwolfia is concerned, for example, Rauwolfia serpentina, we know it is a root which is used. If you see there are certain cinema, the bark is used. So in rustox, you have to use the leaf. So the part of the plant is also important. It is not only the genera species, that is the name of the plant and the species, but also the part of the plant. If the part of the plant is not being used, then the active principles, you see, the plants produces the phytochemicals, the alkaloids, glycosides, phenolides, ketones, terpenes, polyphenols. So in Rauwolfia serpentina, we have got the reserpine. In Hyoscyamus niger, we have the hyoscyamin. So it is very important that in the standards, if you see the pharmacopoeia, if you see the monograph, you will come to know that it is the plant and which part of the plant and in which season it is to be collected. That is very important. Next slide, please. Yeah. In case of the, drug, first we had to do the organoleptic studies, then microscopic studies, as I told you, then chemical analysis. In chemical analysis, we have got the phytochemical test, then the chromatography, that is the TLC, GLC, HPLC, then spectroscopy, that is UV. UV is very important. That gives the lambda max value. Every mother tincture has got a different lambda max that you will see in our next slides. Then there are physical analysis parameters, that is acid value, H value, and saponification value. Next slide, please. Now, when we talk of mother tincture, we have got the following parameters to test. The first is organoleptic characters, that is the color. If you see the hydrosis mother tincture, the hydrosis mother tincture is golden seal, that is yellowish color. Then many mother tinctures are green in color. Then we have to see the sediments. Then we have to see the weight per ml. Then pH. pH is also very important. The total alcohol percentage. There are certain mother tinctures which are prepared in 30%, 40% alcohol, and there are certain mother tinctures, mother tinctures which are prepared in 90% alcohol. So percentage of alcohol is also very important because it is the extractive value. It is the extractive value which is very important for us to know. That is why the percentage of alcohol in different mother tinctures vary from 40-50% to 90%. Then the UV absorbance is also very important. As I told you, I will show you in a few next slides about the lambda max value, how the UV, helps to find out the mother tincture. Then the total assay, and then finally the identification with the help of TLC, that is thin layer chromatography, and HPLC. Next slide, please. Now, it is very important that morphological and macroscopical and chemical testing all are required. Simple thing is, for example, aconite is present in Aconitum napellus also and in Aconitum lycopodium also. But question is this thing, these two drugs, they are used for different diseases. For Aconitum napellus is used for nervous excitement, and Aconitum lycopodium is used for swelling of glands. So it is not only the plant, it is the active principles which are important and how to identify. That is why I said that for standardization and testing, it is very important that we must test all the characters, that is microscopy, UV, TLC, and other phytochemical analysis. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is Arnica montana. No, the first one. Before this, yeah, this is Arnica montana. Is a very important drug. This is a drug, which is, very, very important drug. But the Arnica fulgens, the fulgens, the last line you see, the Arnica fulgens is commonly available and often mixed with, and it is called substituted. And how to identify the Arnica, you can see the next slide. Next slide. Now, if you see the bottom line, reddish line, it says that corolla with 3 acute teeth and 7 to 9 veins. This is the characteristic feature. You can see, the 3, teeth and the 7 to 9 veins, and other adulterants which are usually mixed with Arnica or Calendula officinalis, Inula, and other species, where you can see the 5 tooth lingulates or the Heterotheca annulidis. The last one, the 5th point, which you can see here, the 5th point, it is very important. It is a false Arnica which is available in Mexico. So I'm sorry to say that maximum, most of the manufacturers, they use Heterotheca annulidis, which is called the Arnica. So it is very important that before making, a drug, we should identify whether it is Arnica or a Calendula or Taraxacum or Inula or a false Arnica, which is called Heterotheca annulidis. Next slide, please. Now, this is Janosia ashoka. This is very important plant, The Janosia ashoka is a plant which grows in India, in Odisha. So, if you see the red, the spots, it is said that it has a rhomboidal crystals. And if you see the other adulterant, that is polyalgae longifolia. In the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now you can see here, these are the acicular crystals. So the crystals in the first one is rhomboidal, and this is acicular. That is the acicular means, like needles. So this is the way we can identify the polyalgae longifolia, and most of the plants, most of the manufacturers, they use the adulterant, that is Genosea ashoka. Whatever you see in the garden, it is all polyalgae longifolia. It is not Genosea ashoka. Next slide, please. Now, Echinacea is again a very important plant. You can see the morphological identification of different species. Now, you can see here that how we can identify the Echinacea purpurea, Echinacea pallida, and Echinacea angustifolia on the basis of the size of the flower and size of the stem and size of the root. So, morphological characteristics you can see very easily, and this is the reference we are given by the Wagner. The Echinacea has been identified different species. So, it is very important. We cannot mix Echinacea angustifolia with Echinacea purpurea or Echinacea pallida, because the alkaloids and the glycosides and phenolate contents of different plants vary from species to species. So it is very important that we should identify the genera and the species. So genera and species, they are very important characteristic feature for the the total phytochemicals present in the plant. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. If you see the Echinacea now, in the monograph or in the pharmacopoeia, it is clearly mentioned when the plant is to be collected. Now, if the flower is collected in the early stage, you can see the chlorogenic acid and echinocide. And if you see medium, and if you see the overblown, so you can easily see that the echinocide and chlorogenic acid concentration varies. So it is very important that when the plant is to be collected, it is mentioned in the pharmacopoeia. If you collect early, then most of the chemicals may not be present, and if it is overblown, it is also very important. So that is why in the monograph they mentioned that when the plant is to be collected, and if the plant is collected at the right time, and secondly, and the plant is collected at the proper condition and agroclimatic condition, because in India there are certain there are 16 agroclimatic conditions. Now, if you try to grow some plants which are grown in Kashmir or in the north, the extremely where cold is there, we cannot grow in tropical. So tropical plants are to be grown in tropical area, and the other plants are to be grown in the, for example, if it is a cool climate like Kashmir or Shimla, something like that, then something like that. Okay, next slide, please. Now, this is again a very important plant, Eupatorium perfoliatum. Eupatorium perfoliatum is a very important plant. If you can see, the parts of the leaves are bright green and parts of the leaves are dark green. So this is where you can identify. And the flowers, 2 to 3 millimeter tubular there, and it is 5 to 8. So trichomes are longer, and trichomes are 200 to 8, just consisting of 5 to 16 cells. So this is how to identify on the basis of microscopic characters. So microscopic, macroscopic, and the other, as I told you, the chemical characteristics, they are very important. Now, if you see the next slide, please. Next. This is a TLC, that is Eupatorium perfoliatum. So this is a very important plant, and this is mixed with Eupatorium cannabinum. If you see the last line, now this clearly says orange band shows adulteration with absence of orange band. So you can see the orange band. See, orange band is very important. If you are not getting the orange bands and you are getting the other bands, that is, this shows that it is a contaminated with Eupatorium cannabinum. Now, next slide, please. This is a Hydrosis canadensis. It is very important plant, and this is called the golden seal. That is raw material available in trade. It is the golden seal. Now, if you see the next slide, please. Now, this is a very important characteristic feature. This is given in German homeopathy pharmacopoeia, that there are crystals are present, and they are needle-like crystals. And the needle-like crystals is the characteristic feature of the Hydrosis canadensis. Now, if you see under the UV 365 nanometer, you get a blue fluorescence. If you see the mother tincture under the blue fluorescence, that is under 365 nanometer UV rays, then you find the ether layer giving us the blue fluorescence. That is the, again, the second characteristic feature. Next slide, please. This is a very important slide, that is HPLC. Now, there are three adulterants. The first is Coptis trifolia, and the Coptis chinensis, and Hydrustis canadensis. Hydrustis canadensis is the main plant. Now, Hydrustis canadensis has got hydrustin, hydrustinin, and berberin. There are three peaks, you can see. The three important chemicals, phytochemicals present are hydrustinin, hydrustin, and berberin. Now, berberin is also present in Berberis vulgaris, as I told you. Berberis vulgaris is 200 rupees kg raw material, and this is about 15 to 16,000 rupees per kg. This is only available in in America and other places. So mostly what happens, the people mix the Berberis vulgaris with this plant and they sell with the Hydrustis mother tincture. Now there are other plants like Coptis trifolia. Coptis trifolia has got the second one, the B graph. You can see the copticin is present, and it has got berberin and copticin. And if you see the third one, that is a C, that is Coptis chinensis, you get a copticin and palmitin. So these two peaks, they show that they are the adulterants of the Hydrustis canadensis. So it is very important, as I told you, that if the raw material is not good, we cannot have a good mother tincture. So it is very important for any manufacturer that the manufacturer should identify the plant material in such a way that it should be of a good quality. The reason being that in allopathy, you get the raw material with a certified, that is COA, that is certificate of analysis. But in homeopathy, the raw material, what you call the herbs, we do not have a COA, certificate of analysis. That is why it is the prime responsibility of the manufacturer to identify the raw material. If you do not identify the raw material, if you just depend on the supplier, then he may supply you a raw material at a cheaper cost, but the medicine will not be effective. I always tell, it is very difficult to practice homeopathy, because in allopathy, if you know few drugs, if you know the painkiller, if you know the Brufen, if you know the diclofenac sodium, you can cure the pain. If you know the few antibiotics, you can cure the infection. But question is this, in homeopathy, you ask 100 questions and you give a one drop. And if that drop is not genuine, then what happens? The whole system gets defamed. So it is the prime responsibility of the manufacturer that the manufacturer should provide the right medicine to the homeopathic practitioners, because it is very difficult to practice homeopathy, and that is why it is our prime responsibility. And Medicines Chemicals Private Limited, I give welcome, and I wish if you can see our website, and if you happen to come to India, you must visit our factory, and you will come to know how much we spend on the quality control and the testing of raw material. Next slide, please. Now, there is another, the Google Stron is there. Which instrument you have to use. If you use the UV and you use the HPLC, the UV may give 4.8% of the Google Stron, but the HPLC gives 2.5. So by UV it gives 16.5, and by HPLC it gives 3.6. So it is very important that which instrument you have to use for identification. So it is the responsibility of a scientist to find out that if you use a wrong instrument, for example, UV, if you are using, you are showing that the result, it is, if you see the third point, 16.5. And if you see the HPLC, it is 3.6. So, it is 5 times lesser than this. So it is very important to know that which instrument you have to use, that you should understand. Next slide, please. Now, coming to the Hydrustis, this is, the method 1 and method 2. How to identify the yellow colors which you are seeing, they are the, the important, phytochemicals present. Now, next slide, you will see the HPTLC. Next slide, please. This is the HPTLC. This is advanced, technology. It is better than TLC. In HPTLC, the cost of the instrument is about, 20 lakhs rupees. And fortunately, we are having this instrument in our factory, and we try to identify the plant with this help of this. And here you get, see, these are the, the yellow colors, and the bluish, and the middle and the lower. These are called the bands. The phytochemicals, they are separated. When we do the TLC, they are separated and get the different bands. You know very well that plants have got two types of metabolism: primary metabolism and secondary metabolism. Primary metabolism is the conversion of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. That is photosynthesis. This is a primary characteristic feature. But the secondary metabolism is a characteristic feature of a plant which produces the alkaloids, which produces the glycosides, which produces the phenolides, which produces the ketones, terpenes, and polyphenols. And they are called phytochemicals, and they are important that they should be present in the mother tincture. Next slide, please. Now, as I was telling you, the UV spectrophotometer, you can see here the graph. The hydrolysis condenses on the right hand side, you can see the graph. This is the peaks. These are the different peaks. You will find this hydrolysis condenses is different. And I will show you next the ipecac, that is also different. So every mother nature has got a different, the UV pattern. And that is called the lambda max value. And that lambda max value is to be, found out. And that is why we, in our factory, we have got our own in-house standard. And, as I told you, in HPI, the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India, there are about 1,000 drugs mentioned, but all the 1,000 drugs, they are not given the TLC and UV data. So we are going to have one collaboration with the government of India, and we are going to, tell them that we have got certain standards, and hopefully we are given them offer to have an MOU with the CSIR that we can have, we can share our data so that, all this data can be updated and can be utilized by the manufacturers and in overall throughout the world. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are the the different golden seal adulterants. The hydrolysis condenses is there, Mahonia nervosa is there, Coptis is there, Blumex is there, and Xanthus rhiza. So these on the basis of macroscopy and macroscopy, you can identify all these characteristic features. It is very important for the manufacturer to know. That is why we have got a botanist, we have got a chemist, we have got a the phytochemist, and we have got the analytical chemist. Analytical chemist does the testing with the help of the instrument, that is TLC and UV. The botanist try to do the microscopy and macroscopy, and organic chemist, they do the phytochemical work. So when we have a very good team, and fortunately I'm their technical advisor there. So I lead the team, and we have developed our own in-house standard. These all standards are not mentioned in any of the pharmacopoeia. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is ipecac. It is very important. Now, if you see the left-hand slide, the left hand, there are annular rings. You see the earthworm. Earthworm, you get the annular rings. So these rings are there. This is the characteristic feature. And if you see the microscopic, there are calcium oxalate crystals. If you see here, right-hand side is a bundle of crystals, and that is called acicular crystals. And if you see the left one, that is a compound starch grains. Compound means it is not a single cell. The two cells are joined together and they're compound. They're called compound. And the starch cells, when we put iodine in that, so it converts, it changes color into blue. So this is very important for us to understand that it is the microscopic characteristic feature, the calcium oxalate crystals and compound starch grains, and the annular rings. The annular rings is the characteristic feature of the raw material. Next slide, please. Now, if you see the Japanese pharmacopoeia, it says that the odor is irritated to nasal mucosa. So it is not given in any. So here, what we have done, we have tried to collect the literature from different pharmacopoeias and different scientific literature, and on the basis of all that, we have made our own in-house standard. So we have used the Japanese pharmacopoeia, and we have found that this odor is very irritating to nasal mucosa. Next slide, please. Now, when we prepare the mother tincture and we add in mother tincture the Myers reagent, it becomes white turbid. This is again, very characteristic feature. It is very easy to identify the ipecac mother tincture if you add the Myers reagent and it turns into white turbid. That is the, again, characteristic feature. Next slide, please. Now, if you see here, I shown you the UV lambda max value of hydrolysis. This is entirely different. This is, the peak is at 285 nanometer. There you got 2 peaks. Here you have only 1 peak. There's a 285 nanometer. So this is also a very characteristic feature of the ipecac. Next slide, please. Now here you can see here that when we are using this, we have tried to use the European pharmacopoeia. And European pharmacopoeia says that we are getting the 3 spots, the 2 yellow spots and the bluish spot and the lower. This is, very important to, in the next slide, you will come to know how to differentiate the IPAC with the other. Next slide, please. Now, here you can see that there are the Syphilis acuminata. There are 2 adulterants. This is given in European pharmacopoeia. So, in this clearly says that the root of the spots, if you see, obtained with this thing, the solution are similar in size. In acuminata, it is similar in size, and in Syphilis epicoccus, it is different in size. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So here it is not there anyway. No, please. This. No, the earlier one, the yellowish slide. Before this, please. One more before. One more. Yeah. Here you can see the 2 spots. Yellow is bigger and the lower one is smaller. So in ipecac, the 2 sizes are of different size. And Syphilis acuminata, you get of the same size. So that is what the European pharmacopoeia says. So if you want to identify the real Syphilis epicoccus and Syphilis acuminata, this is the way you can identify. And that is why this is shown in this next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now the bluish color which I have shown, that this is the difference. In the first, the sizes are similar, and in the second, the sizes are different. Yellow points, yellow colors are different in size. Next slide, please. This is the HPTLC. It is very advanced technology. We have used this, and we can identify the ipecac like this. Next slide, please. Now there are, next. Now this is again, this is a University of Vienna, Austria. There is a one plant known as Rhonabia emetica, the red one. If you see the third line, Rhonabia emetica, it is known as false ipecac. It is very, very, dangerous, and you can easily identify the false ipecac with the true ipecac. See what happens, yesterday someone asked me from Government of India only in the laboratory, is there any substitute of the plant? Question is this: in homeopathic pharmacopoeia of India or any pharmacopoeia, no substitute is there. If it is Rauwolfia serpentina, means you have to use Rauwolfia serpentina. You cannot use another species. You cannot use Rauwolfia vomitoria. So it is very important for us to know that the correct genera, correct species, correct identification of the plant is very important. Then from which area we are collecting the plant, that is very important. And when it is collected, very important. And how we do the testing, that is also very important. Next slide, please. Now you see the Aelatis farinosa. This is again a very important. Here you get the lambda max value to 74 and 321 nanometer. This is a very important plant, and if the identification is a very simple, that if you do the UV studies, you will get 2 peaks. Next slide, please. Now here you can see the pharmacopoeia. Unfortunately, what happens, if you see the identification, we carry out TLC of mother tincture using N-butanol acetic acid water as a spray reagent. Unfortunately, this is not a spray reagent; it is a mobile phase. This was a typographical mistake. We pointed out to the Government of India, and they are going to make a change in this thing, because the mobile phase and spray reagent, there are 2 differences. Mobile phase is when you put the TLC plate in a jar, the mobile phase takes up all these spots to the top, and that is why you can see the identification. Because if I talk of TLC, it will be separate lecture. It needs about 1 hour for you to all to understand the TLC. But I just want to tell you, TLC is a method of separation of phytochemicals, and with the help of the solvent, we have got silica gel plate. We spot the plate, that is called the spotting, loading of the sample. Then we put the mobile phase as the mobile phase runs, as you have seen the filter paper, it soaks the drop of water or ink with the help of capillary action. So the capillary action is there and it starts moving. And when it starts moving, and when you do the spray reagent, when you add the spray reagent, then you can identify. Next slide, please. Now we have the two methods which we have developed in our factory, method 1 and method 2. You can see, and the next slide you can see. Next slide, please. You can see the yes, how this is N-acetaldehyde. If you see the third point, N-acetaldehyde solution is the spray reagent, and the mobile phase toluene ethyl acetate anhydrous acetic acid. And you see the last one, the Elatis farinosa. This one you can see very well that how well you got separation of the phytochemicals present in that. Next slide, please. Again, you can see the separation, the method 2, the spray reagent, and this is very important. This is not given in any pharmacopoeia. It is our own in-house standard, and that is what I will say. The Medicines Chemicals Private Limited is proud to have our own in-house standards, and in-house standards help us to give the quality mother nature to our doctors and to our esteemed professors and the persons who are in teaching and who are doing the practice. Next slide, please. This is Chelidonium majus. It is a dried, as you are seeing on the left-hand side. Right-hand side, you see the hollow stem. That is the characteristic feature. When you get, you can see the whole. That is the hollow stem is there. That is the Chelidonium majus, which is very, very important plant, and that is where you can identify with the help of macroscopic characters. Next slide, please. Now, when you see the macroscopic characters again, they are the about 3 millimeter to 7 millimeter in diameter, hollow, and mostly collapsed. They are so brittle that while it comes to the factory or by the time they collect the raw material, it gets collapsed. And that is why the European Pharmacopoeia clearly says, though it is a hollow stem, but it is collapsed in transit. Next slide, please. Now, here there was one, Department of Pharmacy, Dr. Agnes. They said the highest concentration of alkaloid was found in 90%. So it is very important for us to know which percentage of alcohol we have to use for extraction. Because as I told you, mother tinctures are prepared from 45, 50% alcohol to 90% alcohol. So it is the alcohol and water which is responsible for extractive value. Extractive value is what? The phytochemicals present in the plant. It is not only the tannins, it is not only the color. It is the phytochemicals, as I told you, the different phytochemicals which are present in the plant. For example, Rauwolfia serpentina, Reserpine, Hyoscyamus niger, Hyoscyamin, Berberis, Berberin. So all these alkaloids, glycosides, they are present in the plant, and different percentage of alcohol and water. And it is very important for us to study which percentage of alcohol is important. And that is why the total solids present are checked from this value. Next, please. Now, this is again, if you see the author is Sabina, and the identification was done according to the plant growth and geographical condition. The geographical condition is very important. As you know, in India, we have from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from east to west, there are 16 agroclimatic conditions. But what you grow in north, you cannot grow in south. What you grow in Rajasthan, you cannot grow in Madhya Pradesh. So there are tropical, subtropical areas, and it is very important the geographical condition that one should understand. Next slide, please. If you see again the Chelidonium majus, here you are getting only the one peak, and that is very important, 269 nanometer. So this is the way to identify the mother tincture and the raw material. Next slide, please. If you see this, you are getting the top, the reddish. This is the middle one is the yellow, then light yellow and brownish color. So this is the way we do identify the TLC. These are the different phytochemicals present in the mother tincture, and this helps to identify the mother tincture in the best way. Next slide, please. Now, Chelidonium majus, as I told you, that this is the French pharmacopoeia. This says that you get a red zone, as I told you, topmost, then brown zone, blue zone, and greenish yellowish zone, that is berberine, and intense yellow zone, and the yellow zone, and the blue zone. You can see on the right hand side all these things. Otherwise, you can use the if you want to see the yellow color, you can use the berberine, that is berberis. Berberis, as I told you, it is 200 rupees kg. So it is very important for us to know that only the one spot, that is one spot is not enough. It is very important that we should have all the spots, and on the basis of the TLC, that is French pharmacopoeia, we have tried to use the mobile phase N-butanol acetic acid water, and we could find out that how to identify the cellular images. Next slide, please. The Cimicifuga racemosa is again very important. Now, the Australian, that is TGA, they says that in all the Cimicifuga genera, the Cimicifugin is present, but Cimicifugin is absent in Cimicifuga racemosa. If you see the first line, Cimicifugin is a very important drug, but it is absent in Cimicifuga racemosa. And that is why they say that all the species of Cimicifuga contain Cimicifugin except Cimicifuga racemosa. So all the species of Cimicifuga are adulterants. And that is why it is very important for us to find out that Cimicifugin should be absent in the mother tincture. Next slide, please. Seneca. This is very important. There are many manufacturers, they called the Indian Seneca. Now, this is difference. This Seneca is Polygala Seneca. If you can see the crown on the top of the, the crown is there on the top of the root. And in Indian Seneca, that is Polygala chinensis, that it is not there. So we got it from the one thesis. We went to the Baroda and found out one student that did PhD, and we studied and we found out then how to identify this real Seneca with the adulterants. Next slide, please. Now you can see the UV, the bluish green is the imported one, and the upper one is Indian Seneca. So in Indian Seneca, you are getting a 317 and 272 nanometer, 2 peaks, and in Indian and in imported, you are getting only 1 peak, that is 322. So this way you can identify the Indian Seneca with the Polygala Seneca. And as I told you in the first slide, before this, there was a crown was present. Next, just slide before this. Before this, yeah, you can see the crown. The crown is not present in this thing. So this is the first characteristic feature. Then second is the identification UV. Next slide, please. UV, you can see the UV. Next slide, please. Now, this is again, the European Pharmacopoeia says the 3 to 5 red zones. If you see the first, the left-hand side, you are not getting all this. And in the right-hand side too, you are getting this thing. So Indian is right-hand one, and this one lower, you are getting. This is the imported one. So it is very important for us to know that if the red zones and the UV and the crown is not present, then Seneca will not work. So these are the characteristic feature. We try to identify, we try to test all the drugs, and on the basis of this, we pass the sample. Otherwise, the sample is failed. If the raw material is not good, we do not make the mother tincture. Because as I told you, if the raw material is not good, we will not have good mother tincture. If the mother tincture is not good, we will not have good dilution. And at the dilution level, you cannot test the drug. What you can test, you can only test the raw material, and you can test the mother tincture. So that is why we have got a very stringent, the what you call the quality assurance. Earlier, in homeopathy, there was a quality control. They used to test the drug at the last stage. But now there is a quality assurance. They try to test the drug at different stages. So if there is something wrong, they try to check there only. So that is why the concept has changed from quality control to quality assurance. In quality assurance, you check the drug at different stages. And that is very important for us to know. Next slide, please. Crataegus oxycantha, next, is a very important drug. And the Crataegus oxycantha is mixed with Crataegus monogyna. The Crataegus monogyna is an adulterant. Next slide, please. You will come to know. Next slide, please. Next slide. Here, this shows that after spraying with antimony trichloride, unfortunately the HPI showed the wrong spots, but we prepared our mother nature and we got this mother nature from the government institute. There is an institute, Himalayan Institute in north. They grow the Crataegus oxycantha. We got the Crataegus oxycantha from the CSIR, that is government institute. They provided us the Crataegus oxycantha, and we identified, and we are getting the peaks like this, different colors like this. Next slide, please. Now, this is rux toxicodendron. Now, this is very important. Here only the leaf is used. But when you get the raw material, if you right hand side, you get the seeds along with the raw material. You can see the seeds. Now, next slide, please. It is very important that if we prepare the mother nature with the leaf and without seed, then you can see the intensity. The intensity of the spots are more in the right hand side, that is without seed. So that is why there is a loss of 20% of the raw material, because in trade, we are getting the leaf and we are getting the raw material with the seeds. But what happens? People do not remove the seeds. So here in pharmacopoeia, it is clearly mentioned that we have to use only the leaf. So that is why we remove the seeds and only take the seeds. And that is why we can see here, the right hand side, the spots are intense and the dark color. That is why the mother nature is very, very effective. Next slide, please. This is again children measure, same thing. Same thing. Next slide, please. You take again ahead. Go ahead. Yes, Cardus marinus. Cardus marinus, this is a very important drug. No. Next slide, please. Cardus. Yeah, this one. This is the lambda max is 288. You can see the sharp peak. This is where you can identify. As I told you, you have seen the lambda max value of hydrostis, chelidonium, ipecac, all are having different, the lambda max value. So these we have got the standards, and we try to match. Whenever we prepare the new batch, we try to match with our own in-house standards. If the parameters do not match, then we reject the sample. Next slide, please. Now this is a identification. When we add the lead acetate, the yellow precipitate, you can see on the right hand side, it is there. This is again, the identification is given in HPUS. Next slide, please. This is the next Cardus marinus. This is the TLC. This is again in the French pharmacopoeia. You can see the different. You have seen the TLC of 5-6 plants I have shown you. In all the places, in all the plants, the TLC pattern is different, and that is very important for us to know which pattern, which mobile phase, and which the developing reagent we are using. And if you use the correct raw material, we will have a good mother nature. And if the mother nature is good, we will have a good dilutions, and the doctors will have confidence, and also we will be doing justice with the drugs. And it is very prime responsibility of the manufacturer to prepare the genuine drug. Next, please. Next, please. Yes, Ginkgo biloba. This is again mother tincture HPUS method. You can see here the different the reddish band, bluish band, yellowish band, and the green band. So these are the we call the RF values. All these RF values are mentioned, and all this the pattern and everything, we have got a separate file for each drug, and each file contains the correct identification of the raw material, macroscopic characters, then whatever macroscopy is being done, as I showed you that in the ipecac, you got the crystals, acicular crystals, bundles of crystals, and for example in Janus ashoka, you see rhomboidal crystals, and if you see the adulterant, the cluster that is in cluster, that is ipecac. So then you see the phytochemical, when you add Myers reagent, it becomes white turbid. So these are different tests, phytochemical tests, chemical tests, TLC, UV, and others. Next slide, please. Now, it is very important when we do TLC, we should have a controlled relative humidity, because humidity changes from place to place. For example, in Bombay, in Mumbai, from June onwards, the humidity is almost 80 to 90% humidity is there. So that is why we try to do the TLC in a chamber, in a place where we have controlled temperature and controlled relative humidity. And that is why you can see the different, if the humidity is more, you can see that, the RF value changes. So it is very important for us to know that relative humidity is maintained. And that is why we have got a separate, register where we mentioned where the TLC is being done, that proper, humidity is maintained. Next slide, please. This is just to show you that these are the plants and the substitutes. People are using these substitutes, but again, as I told you, this is wrong. There cannot be any substitute. The correct plant has to be used. If you do not use the correct plant, you will not get the correct mother nature, and you are just befooling yourself and befooling the doctors. So it is a prime responsibility of the manufacturer that one should follow the instructions, because Government of India has said that we should have our own testing laboratory, and if we do not have a testing laboratory, we cannot have a good thing. But still, there are companies who are developing, but fortunately, the Maharashtra, where we have our factory, the FDA is very, very strict, and fortunately, we have got 6 to 7 scientists working on only the quality control, because we believe that pharmacy is the backbone of the homeopathy. If the pharmacy is not correct, if the drug is not being prepared nicely, then we cannot have the good results. So next slide, please. This is astragalus, as I told you, it 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 6-year-old. So it is very important that we should not use the old raw material. The raw material should be as far as it should be fresh, because sometimes what happens, you buy the raw material and try to use it for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You can see here, right hand side, that these bands, they're getting little lighter. It means the concentration is going to decrease. So there's a degradation with the time. If the root becomes old, the active principles will not be present. They get degraded. Next slide. Next slide. This again is the same, the substitutes, as I told you, which is again, not permitted. So this is all. Thank you very much. God bless you. If you have any question, any queries, I'm, willing to answer all the queries. Yeah. Once again, thank you all for giving me the opportunity. And definitely, I enjoyed talking to you all. If you have any queries, you can write to me, or you can, right now you can ask. Thank you, Dr. Shaji, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.